All right, so get this, listeners. Today, we're diving deep into Kenya's plan for AI.
Their AI strategy.
Yep, exactly. We've got this draft document, Kenya National Artificial Intelligence Strategy 2025-2030.
Yeah.
And it's really a fascinating look at how they're aiming to become a major player in the AI world.
Especially in creating AI models, right?
Yeah, particularly in creating AI models. And, knowing our listeners are always eager to understand complex topics.
Yes.
I think this deep dive is going to be especially interesting for everyone out there.
What I think is really interesting here is that Kenya is not just looking to, just adopt AI.
Right.
They really want to become like a hub, an innovation hub for AI.
Right.
They want to shape the technology, not just be shaped by it,
Yeah.
It's impressive.
A very ambitious vision.
It is, yeah.
But they're not starting from scratch either, are they?
No, not at all.
I mean, Kenya's already a tech hub
Oh, for sure.
in Africa.
Yeah.
We know they have a young, digitally connected population,
Yeah.
strong foundation
Right.
in things like, mobile money and that kind of thing.
Exactly. They've got like this solid foundation to build on.
Yeah.
And, in this document, they lay out their vision, which is to be the leading AI hub for model innovation in Africa, which is a pretty big deal, obviously. And they want to use this to drive economic growth, but also, this is really important, social good.
That's interesting, that social good element. So when we say, AI for social good, what comes to mind for you? What kind of applications are you most curious about?
I think for me, it's really about how AI can address some of the unique challenges that face Kenya and frankly, a lot of the continent, right?
Yeah.
Things like improving healthcare access, especially in rural areas.
Right.
Using AI to optimize agricultural practices to help farmers
Yeah.
be more productive, be more efficient, or even developing like new financial tools for those who've never had access to traditional banking.
Yeah, that's really interesting because it's not just about kind of replicating what's being done elsewhere. It's
Right.
about tailoring
Exactly.
those AI solutions to very specific local needs.
It is.
And something I found interesting in reading through this document is that they don't shy away from the anxieties
No.
that people have about AI.
Absolutely not. And it's smart because those are real, I
Yeah.
mean, you think about the potential job displacement, data privacy issues, even the potential misuse of AI.
Right.
They're not brushing it under the rug.
No, they're very upfront.
They bring it front and center.
Yeah. And they're addressing it head on.
It's almost like they're saying, look, we understand these concerns.
We get it.
We get it,
We hear you.
but we're going to build trust by being ethical, inclusive,
Right.
and put human rights at the forefront.
Yeah.
That's the approach, and it's the right one, I think.
Yeah. One example that stood out to me was their stance on data colonialism.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's huge, isn't it?
It's a big issue. I mean, they're acutely aware of those risks of, big tech companies coming in, extracting data, exploiting it.
For their own benefit, not for the benefit of
Yeah.
the people whose data it is.
Yeah, so how are they addressing that?
Well, the strategy really emphasizes data sovereignty.
Okay.
They want to make sure that Kenyan data is controlled by Kenyans, benefits Kenyans.
Yeah.
That's a bold stance, especially in this global landscape where data is often seen as just this, commodity
Yeah. Let's buy it, let's sell it.
to be traded,
Yeah.
extracted.
Do you think that this focus on data sovereignty could actually give them a competitive advantage? Or could it hinder innovation, by limiting collaboration with those big global tech giants?
I think that's the question, isn't it? It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, controlling their own data is a way to protect their interests.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that AI development really does align with their values.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, too much restriction could limit access to
Right.
resources and expertise.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a tough one.
It's a difficult question, but I mean, it's good that they're having that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the strengths that they're bringing to the table.
Okay.
Because Kenya has a young, tech-savvy population, which seems like a major asset in this endeavor.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge asset. I mean, they've got, over 40,000 people who are already trained
Wow.
in some aspect of AI.
That's amazing.
And the government is really pushing for even greater digital literacy.
Yeah.
So, they're not starting from zero.
No, they've got like that foundation
They've got a foundation of talent.
of talent to build on. Yeah. What about the infrastructure? Can they support the kind of, data-intensive work that AI requires?
So their existing digital infrastructure is actually pretty good. They've invested a lot in fiber optic cables.
Okay.
They've got a relatively high level of internet penetration.
Okay.
But what I think is really interesting is their focus on powering data centers with green energy,
Interesting.
specifically geothermal,
Oh, wow.
which they have a lot
So
of.
they're really kind of aligning their AI ambitions with global sustainability goals.
They are.
It seems like, not only ethically,
Yes.
but economically, that could be a really,
And strategically, too.
yeah, a smart move.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think by positioning themselves as leaders in sustainable AI development, they might be able to attract
Yeah.
investment
Investment, yeah.
from companies and organizations that care about the environment. It also, kind of sets an example
Yeah, yeah.
for other nations.
It's like they're saying we can be at the forefront of AI innovation, but also
Yeah.
be responsible stewards to the
Yeah.
planet.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good.
But along with those strengths, they also are very realistic about the challenges that they face, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are definitely some hurdles there.
Yeah. So what are some of the key limitations they're acknowledging?
Well, one significant one is the need for more advanced AI expertise.
Okay.
They have a base. Like we said, they've got a talent pool.
Right, right.
But they recognize they need more people
Specialists.
in very specific areas,
Right.
like machine learning, data science,
Yeah.
even AI ethics.
Right. So building that next level of expertise is going to be crucial.
It is, yeah.
But expertise alone isn't enough.
No.
We need, the data.
Well, that's the other big hurdle, data.
Okay.
I mean, they have a ton of data,
Yeah.
but it's often siloed, it's poorly organized, it's not easily accessible. They know that this is holding them back,
It's like having all the ingredients
Yeah.
for a delicious meal,
but not knowing how to cook.
but not knowing how to put it all together.
Exactly, yeah. And then the last thing, and it's always an issue. Funding.
Yeah.
Developing this robust AI ecosystem is not cheap.
It's expensive.
Right.
And, relying heavily on foreign investment, that can create a hole.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're facing those challenges, but it seems like they're going into this with their eyes wide open.
They are, and they're also very optimistic, I think, about the potential, the opportunities.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Okay.
What are some of the opportunities they see?
Well, they really believe that AI can be a driver for economic growth, especially in sectors like agriculture, healthcare, and finance.
Let's dig into that. So agriculture first.
Okay.
What are some specific ways that they envision AI transforming that sector?
Well, they're talking about AI-powered systems that can, for instance, help farmers optimize crop yields, predict weather patterns,
That's huge.
manage pests and diseases,
Wow.
even connect them to markets more efficiently.
It's like giving farmers superpowers.
In a way, yeah, totally. It's about empowering them, right, with information and tools
Yeah.
so they can make better decisions
Yeah. Yeah.
and live better lives. And then you think about healthcare. I mean, the possibilities there are also huge.
I'm really interested in that. Give me some concrete examples of how they see AI impacting healthcare.
So imagine AI assisting doctors in remote clinics with diagnoses, helping personalize treatment plans,
Wow.
or even predicting potential health risks before they become serious problems.
That could really revolutionize healthcare access, especially for
Okay.
people in those rural communities.
Especially for people who don't have access to specialists.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then there's finance.
Okay.
They're thinking about AI systems that could assess credit risk, for example,
How interesting.
for folks who don't have traditional credit histories,
Yeah, that's a big barrier.
which could then open up, microloans, financial inclusion.
So it's about making the financial system more inclusive and accessible.
Exactly. And importantly, they're not just focused on, attracting foreign investment.
Right.
They want to develop homegrown AI talent.
Yeah, so they're building their own expertise, shaping their own destiny.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a really key point. And to achieve all of this, they've structured their approach using what they call 3 pillars and 4 enablers.
Okay, break that down for me. What are these pillars and enablers, and how do they all fit together?
Okay, so the 3 pillars, think of those as the foundation, right? Digital infrastructure, data, and research and innovation.
Makes sense. And the enablers.
So the enablers are kind of like the support system,
Okay.
to make sure everything works. So you've got governance, talent development investment, and then this idea of promoting a culture of equitable AI. That's the fourth one.
So it's a very holistic approach.
It is.
It's not just about the technical aspects, but also the societal and ethical implications.
Absolutely.
But what does this look like in terms of, like, what are they actually going to do?
Well, they have some pretty ambitious initiatives planned.
Okay.
Like building 3 new state-of-the-art data centers in the next 5 years.
That's a big commitment.
Yeah.
And what's the message there, do you think? I mean, sending to potential investors or even the global AI community?
I think it signals that they're really serious
Yeah.
about this. They're not just dipping their toes in the water. They're diving right in.
Yeah.
They're making a statement.
And, we talked earlier about the data challenges.
Right.
That kind of fragmented and inaccessible data. How are they planning to overcome that?
They're developing national data standards
Okay.
so that information can be shared across different systems.
So breaking down those data silos.
Yeah, exactly. Getting rid of those silos, creating a more unified
So it's not just building infrastructure. It's really about creating that culture.
culture of data sharing.
Yeah, collaboration. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then, all this talk about data sharing makes me think about data privacy.
For sure.
I mean, what are they doing to kind of address those concerns
Yeah.
about data security, potential misuse?
Well, that's where the governance comes in.
Right.
They're very clear about the need for strong data protection laws, regulations
Okay.
around how data is collected, how it's used, how it's stored, how it's shared.
Right. So regulations to prevent, things like unauthorized access.
Exactly.
Or misuse of personal data.
Exactly. And they're also, they're really emphasizing this idea of data sovereignty.
So keeping that data within the country.
As much as possible, to give them more control.
So they're building those safeguards from the beginning.
From the outset, they're thinking ahead.
But what about the people?
Right.
What about the human element in all of this?
Well, they have this multi-pronged approach to talent development.
Okay.
It starts with integrating basic AI literacy.
So like in schools.
Into the school curriculum.
Wow, that's early.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Basic coding, computational thinking.
Yeah.
Even just exposing them to the implications of AI from a young age.
Yeah, catching them young. It makes me think, what if AI literacy had been part of our education?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Would we be further ahead? Who knows?
Right.
But anyway, back to Kenya. It doesn't stop with schools.
Yeah.
They're also focused on building those specialized AI skills, like at the university level, through vocational training programs, data science, machine learning, AI policy, all of that.
They're creating like those pathways for people to really develop expertise.
Expertise, yeah.
Yeah. And are they relying solely on their own institutions?
No, they're looking to partner with, tech companies and international organizations to create like training programs, placement programs, get people real world experience, connect them with employers. They're even open to like attracting skilled AI talent from other countries.
So they're building this talent pool.
They are.
But where will these people work? What about the infrastructure to support all of this?
Well, that's where those pillars come in. Remember, digital infrastructure is one of them.
Right. And that's not just having computers, right? It's high-speed internet, powerful data centers.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're aiming high. We're talking about expanding broadband access, those new data centers.
State of the art, yeah. They're going for the TIA 942 standard.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, basically, top-notch security and reliability. It's like a global benchmark.
So they're really serious about this.
It's the gold standard. Plus, they're even thinking about local manufacturing of AI-specific hardware, like specialized chips.
So becoming less reliant on those, those foreign tech companies forging their own path. But it's not all hardware, is it?
No, it's not. They're also focused on sustainability.
Right.
Big time.
Yeah.
They're pushing for green energy to power all this infrastructure.
Yeah.
Geothermal especially.
Okay.
Abundant resource in Kenya.
Smart. So reducing their environmental impact while building this cutting-edge AI ecosystem.
That's smart. It's doing well by doing good, right?
Yeah. But let's talk about kind of the fuel that powers all of this, the data.
Yeah, the data, the second pillar. This is all about creating like a robust data ecosystem, a system where data flows freely, securely,
Robust data ecosystem. That sounds a little,
Abstract.
yeah, abstract. Give me an example.
Okay. Imagine a healthcare scenario.
Right, okay.
Right now, patient records might be scattered across different hospitals and clinics.
Yeah, makes it hard to get the full picture.
Exactly. So in a robust data ecosystem, this information could be, securely shared, accessed by authorized healthcare providers, leading to, more accurate diagnoses, personalized treatments.
There are no more data silos.
No silos,
Where
exactly.
information gets trapped.
Exactly. Break down those walls. They talk about developing national data standards so different systems can actually talk to each other.
Yeah. That sounds like a massive undertaking, though.
It is. But they're also, talking about incentives to encourage data sharing, collaboration between public and private sectors.
Interesting. So everybody working together.
Yeah.
But all this data sharing does make me think about privacy.
Of course.
What are they doing to address, concerns about data security, potential misuse?
That's where you need that strong data governance, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the enablers.
Right.
They need those data protection laws, regulations about how data is collected, how it's used.
Right.
They're really emphasizing data sovereignty.
Uh-huh.
So the Kenyan data is processed and stored, within Kenya whenever possible.
Okay, so protecting their data, making sure it's used responsibly.
Exactly.
So we've got the data, the infrastructure, the talent. Where does the actual AI research and development
yes.
fit into all of this?
The third pillar, research and innovation. This is like the heart of it, right?
Okay.
They want to be a hub for AI model innovation.
Not just using AI, but creating it.
Exactly. So imagine, state-of-the-art research centers, kind of like think tanks,
Okay, yeah.
where brilliant minds are coming together to develop like cutting-edge AI algorithms and applications.
Yeah, that's cool. A space for AI innovation to really flourish. But research centers are not cheap.
No.
Where's the funding coming from?
Well, they're hoping to attract both public and private investment. Government grants, partnerships with tech companies.
So get everyone invested in this shared vision.
Exactly. But it can't just be theoretical. They need to turn those innovations into real-world solutions.
Right. And they've identified those priority areas where they believe AI can make a difference.
They have.
Starting with agriculture.
Agriculture, yeah.
Give me an example.
Okay, so imagine a small-scale farmer, right?
Okay.
Struggling with unpredictable weather patterns.
Yeah, the real problem.
Huge problem. AI systems could provide, real-time weather updates, personalized advice on crop management, even early warnings about like pests or diseases.
So AI is giving them tools and information to make better decisions.
Exactly, yeah. It could revolutionize how they farm,
Yeah.
increase their yields, improve their income. It's a big deal.
That's incredible. What about some of those other sectors? Like, we talked about healthcare, finance. Any specific examples there?
Well, in healthcare, you could imagine AI helping doctors in remote clinics diagnose diseases more accurately, or personalizing treatment plans based on a patient's genetic makeup.
Yeah, it's like bringing specialized medical knowledge to those remote areas.
And in finance, think about AI systems that can assess credit risk for people who don't have traditional credit histories.
Yeah.
So opens up opportunities for microloans, things like that.
So AI could revolutionize how people manage their money.
It could. It really could.
But, for all the potential benefits, there's also the flip side, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
I mean, what about the potential for job losses as AI automates certain tasks?
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And they address it.
Okay.
They talk about the importance of retraining programs, preparing people for the jobs of the future, not just the jobs of the past.
So a shift in focus rather than outright replacement.
Exactly.
Okay.
They understand that AI will change the nature of work.
Right.
But they want to make sure Kenyans are prepared.
Yeah. It's like a very proactive approach.
It is.
Anticipating the changes.
Yeah.
Equipping people with the skills.
Exactly. But, even beyond job displacement, we have to think about the ethics of all of this.
Right.
How do we make sure that these powerful AI systems are being used responsibly?
Yeah. Who sets the guidelines?
Exactly. Well, that's where governance comes in. It's one of the 4 enablers. They need a comprehensive legal framework that addresses the AI-specific challenges, like data privacy, algorithmic transparency.
Right, because these AI systems are making decisions that impact people's lives.
Absolutely.
So there needs to be oversight.
They need to establish institutions, processes to enforce those laws,
Right.
to monitor AI development, to address harms.
So creating a system of checks and balances.
Exactly. It's about making sure that AI is a force for good,
Yeah.
not a force for, for perpetuating
Yeah.
inequalities.
Right.
They even talk about developing an AI risk and safety framework, thinking ahead. What are the potential problems? How do we mitigate them?
So not just reacting when something goes wrong, but proactively addressing those potential risks and challenges.
Exactly.
And they're not doing this alone, are they?
No. They're emphasizing this multi-stakeholder approach. Bring in the government, the industry, academics, civil society.
Get everyone to the table.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
Exactly. And that's really what responsible AI development is all about. It's got to be inclusive, it's got to be transparent, it's got to be accountable.
I got to ask, are they being realistic about the limitations they face?
It's a good question.
I mean, AI development is incredibly expensive.
It is, yeah.
And Kenya is still a developing country.
Right.
Do they address that, the funding limitations?
They do. They're very upfront about it.
Okay.
They say, we need to prioritize resources carefully, explore creative funding models.
Right.
They're hoping to attract international grants,
Right.
partnerships, stimulate local investment.
So they're aware of the constraints, but they seem committed to finding ways to overcome them.
Absolutely. They're not shying away from the challenge.
What about the brain drain issue?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, they're investing in all this talent.
Yeah.
How do they prevent those talented individuals from being,
lured away?
Yeah, lured away by higher salaries in other parts of the world?
Well, their strategy is to create a really strong and vibrant AI ecosystem within Kenya.
So making it a place where people want to stay and build their careers.
Exactly. A place where they feel valued.
Yeah.
Where they can do meaningful work.
So it's about fostering a sense of
ownership.
Ownership, yeah.
Pride, yeah.
In their own AI capabilities.
Exactly. They want to create that positive feedback loop where, talent leads to innovation, which attracts more investment, which creates more opportunities, and ultimately benefits everyone.
It's a long-term vision.
It is.
But why go all in on AI? What's the ultimate goal?
Well, I think there are two big goals here, and they're kind of intertwined.
Okay.
First, they want to use AI to drive economic growth.
Makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Increase productivity, create new industries, attract foreign investment. They want to put Kenya on the map as a leader in this space.
So raising Kenya's global profile.
Exactly. But it's not just about economic gains. They also want to use AI to solve social problems, improve the lives of ordinary Kenyans.
So AI for good.
AI for good.
Right back to that core principle.
Exactly. They want to make sure the benefits of AI are shared, that it's used to create a more just and equitable society.
But AI is not a magic bullet, is it?
It's not.
It's not going to solve every problem.
No, of course not.
And it comes with risks.
Risks and challenges, absolutely.
But what's encouraging to me is that they're approaching this with a sense of responsibility.
Absolutely.
And a real commitment to those ethical considerations.
That's what makes this so interesting.
Yeah.
It's a nation's aspirations, its challenges. It's their determination to kind of shape their own destiny in this new world of AI.
And it's easy to get caught up in those technical details, but it's the human impact that matters most, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
How will all of these initiatives impact the lives of everyday Kenyans?
That's what we need to look at.
Yeah, let's make it real.
Yeah, let's bring it down to earth. Welcome back to our deep dive.
Yeah. Last time we were talking about, what should responsible AI development look like, especially for countries who are, often on the receiving end of technology, not the creators.
Yeah, that's a big question.
As we kind of dig deeper into the strategy, I think we're starting to see some answers.
I think so, too. I mean, Kenya's approach really puts an emphasis on ownership, right?
Yeah.
Owning their AI journey.
Yeah.
It's not just about following what everyone else is doing.
No, it's about figuring out what works for them.
Exactly. What aligns with their values.
And a big part of that seems to be focusing on people.
Oh, absolutely.
This document, it really highlights that importance of developing local talent.
Yeah, and it's a multi-pronged approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
It starts with those foundational AI skills.
Yeah.
Teaching them in schools.
Like from a young age.
Yeah, get them while they're young.
Wow.
Basic coding, computational thinking, even just getting them to think about the implications of AI.
Makes you wonder what it would have been like if we had had that, right?
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
AI literacy, just part of like normal education.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Kenya. So it starts in schools, but it doesn't stop there. They're building those specialized AI skills at universities
You're right.
through vocational training programs. They're covering things like data science, machine learning, even AI policy expertise.
Wow, they're really thinking about the whole ecosystem.
They are.
Yeah.
And they're not just relying on their own institutions for all this, are they?
What do you mean?
Well, they're looking to partner with tech companies, international organizations to create these training programs, placement programs.
They get people that real-world experience.
Exactly. Connect them with employers. They're even open to attracting, skilled AI talent from other countries.
So they're building this incredible talent pool.
They are.
But where will these people work?
Right.
I mean, what about the infrastructure?
Well, that's where those pillars come in. Digital infrastructure, that's one of them.
Right.
And we're not just talking about computers here. We're talking high-speed internet,
Of course.
powerful data centers, reliable networks. All of that has to be designed to handle the demands of AI.
Yeah, they're aiming high.
They are. Expanding broadband access.
Yeah.
Remember those 3 new data centers they're building?
Oh, yeah, those state-of-the-art data centers.
State-of-the-art. Going for that TIA 942 standard. Top-notch security and reliability.
It's that global benchmark.
It is, yeah. And then they're even exploring, local manufacturing of some AI-specific hardware.
Wow, like specialized chips and that kind of thing.
Exactly. So they're trying to become less reliant on foreign companies.
Yeah.
They're forging their own path.
That's impressive, but it's not all about hardware, though, is it?
No, not at all. They're really big on sustainability as well.
Oh, right.
Pushing for green energy sources, geothermal especially.
Abundant in Kenya.
Yep. So they're minimizing their environmental impact while they're building this cutting-edge AI ecosystem.
It's really they're doing well by doing good.
It's a good model.
But let's get to the fuel that powers all this.
The data.
The data.
Yeah. The second pillar, it's all about creating that robust data ecosystem where the data flows freely, securely, it's well-organized, high quality,
Robust data ecosystem. It does sound a bit,
abstract.
Yeah, abstract. Can you make it real for me?
Okay. Let's say we're talking about healthcare, right?
Okay.
Right now, you might have patient records scattered across, different hospitals and clinics. It's hard to get the full picture.
Yeah, it's fragmented.
Exactly. But in a robust data ecosystem, this information could be shared securely.
Oh, okay.
Accessed by authorized healthcare providers. So you get more accurate diagnoses, you can personalize treatments.
So no more data silos.
No more silo.
Where information gets trapped.
Exactly. Break down those walls. They're developing national data standards so that systems can talk to each other.
That's a huge undertaking.
It's a big one, it is. But they're also talking about incentives, to encourage data sharing collaboration.
So like public and private sector working together.
Yeah, everyone working together.
But all this data sharing makes me think about privacy concerns.
Of course. And that's why you need strong data governance. That's where those enablers come in.
Right.
They need those data protection laws. They need regulations on how data is collected, how it's used.
Right.
And they're really emphasizing data sovereignty.
So keeping that data within Kenya.
As much as possible, yeah. It gives them more control.
Okay, so protecting the data, making sure it's used responsibly. But all this data, this infrastructure, the talent, where does the AI research and development fit in?
That brings us to the third pillar. And I think you could say it's the heart of their ambition.
Research and innovation.
Research and innovation. They want to be a hub, not just for using AI, but for creating it.
Wow. Okay, paint me a picture. What would an AI research hub in Kenya look like?
Well, imagine, these state-of-the-art research centers, kind of like think tanks.
Okay.
Where you've got these brilliant minds coming together, developing cutting-edge algorithms, applications. They're collaborating, they're testing ideas, they're pushing the boundaries.
I love that image, a space for innovation to flourish. But those research centers, they cost money, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where's that funding coming from?
Well, they're hoping to attract both public and private investment. Government grants, partnerships with tech companies, things like that.
Okay, so get everyone to buy into the vision.
Exactly. But it can't just be about theory. They need to translate those innovations into real-world solutions.
Right, and they've identified those priority areas where they think AI can have the biggest impact.
Starting with agriculture.
Okay, give me an example. How could AI actually transform agriculture in Kenya?
All right, so let's say you've got a small-scale farmer.
Okay.
They're struggling with unpredictable weather patterns.
That's a huge issue.
Huge issue. AI systems could give them real-time weather updates, personalized advice on crop management, using early warning systems about pests or diseases.
It's like AI is giving them information, giving them the tools they need to
Exactly.
make better decisions.
It could completely change how they farm, improve their yields, increase their income.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
That's amazing. What about other sectors? We talked about healthcare, finance, any specific examples there?
Yeah. Well, in healthcare, imagine AI helping doctors in these remote clinics to diagnose diseases more accurately, or, personalizing those treatment plans based on a patient's genes. AI-powered chatbots even could provide basic healthcare advice, expand access to information.
Yeah, it's like taking those specialized medical knowledge and
Right.
bringing it to those remote areas.
Yeah, closing those gaps.
Yeah.
And then in finance, AI systems that could assess credit risk for people who don't have a traditional credit history
Yeah.
opens up those opportunities for microloans, financial inclusion.
So AI could revolutionize how people manage their money, how they access it.
It really could. It really could. But, we have to talk about the other side of this.
Right, the challenges.
The challenges. I mean, what about job displacement?
Yeah, that's a real concern. What do they say about that?
They do talk about it. They emphasize retraining programs,
Yeah.
preparing people for those jobs of the future. It's not about holding on to the jobs of the past.
Right, right.
It's about adapting. They see AI as a tool, really,
Okay.
to augment human capabilities,
So not replacing people, but
working alongside them,
okay.
allowing people to focus on those higher level tasks,
Mhm.
the things that require creativity, critical thinking, human interaction.
So it's more about a shift in focus, not outright replacement.
Exactly. And they know AI is going to change the way we work,
Yeah.
but they want to make sure that Kenyans are ready for it.
Yeah. They're taking a very proactive approach, anticipating the changes,
Thinking ahead.
giving people the skills to adapt.
Absolutely, yeah. But there's more to it than just job displacement, isn't there?
Right, the ethics.
We have to think about how these systems are used.
Yeah, who's setting the guidelines, who's making sure they're used responsibly.
Exactly. And that's where governance comes back in.
Okay.
One of the 4 enablers. They need to create that legal framework that addresses these challenges.
So data privacy?
Data privacy, algorithmic transparency, accountability, all of that.
Right, because these systems are making decisions that affect
Yeah.
people's lives.
Yeah, and there needs to be oversight.
Yeah.
So they're talking about institutions, processes to enforce those laws, to monitor AI development, to address those potential harms.
So it's like a system of checks and balances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about making sure AI is used for good, that it doesn't perpetuate those existing inequalities or
Right.
create new ones. They even talk about developing like an AI risk and safety framework.
Thinking about what could go wrong, how to prevent it.
Exactly. Thinking ahead. And they're not doing this alone, are they?
No, it's that multi-stakeholder approach again.
Multi-stakeholder approach. Bring everyone to the table. Government, industry, academics, civil society, get all those perspectives.
Everyone working together to shape the future of AI.
Exactly. And that's a key part of responsible AI development. It's got to be inclusive, it's got to be transparent, it's got to be accountable.
But I want to press on this a little bit. Are they being realistic about the limitations?
That's a good question.
AI development is incredibly expensive. It is. And Kenya's still a developing country.
Right. And they do acknowledge that. They
Right.
talk about the financial challenges, the need to prioritize resources, to explore creative funding models. They want to attract those international grants, partnerships, and stimulate local investment.
So they're aware of the constraints, but they're also looking for solutions.
Absolutely. They're not letting the challenge stop them.
What about brain drain?
Yeah, that's a good one.
They're investing in developing all this talent.
Yeah.
How do they keep those talented people in Kenya?
Well, their strategy focuses on creating a really strong AI ecosystem within Kenya.
So they're making it a place where people want to stay and build their careers.
Exactly. They want people to feel valued there,
Yeah.
that they can do meaningful work.
So fostering that sense of ownership.
Ownership, yeah. Pride in their own AI capabilities.
Right. And they're hoping to create that cycle, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where, investment leads to innovation, which attracts more investment, creates more opportunities.
And ultimately benefits everyone. It's a long-term vision.
It is a long-term vision.
But why go all in on AI like this?
Well, there are 2 main goals, and they're really interconnected.
Okay.
First, They want to use AI to drive economic growth.
That makes sense.
Right.
Right.
Increase productivity, create new industries, attract foreign investment. They want to be seen as a leader in this space.
Raising their global profile.
Exactly. But it's not just about the economic gains.
Yeah.
They also want to use AI to tackle those social challenges,
Yeah.
to make life better for ordinary Kenyans.
AI for good.
AI for good, exactly. They want to make sure the benefits are shared and that AI helps to create a more just and equitable society.
But we have to be honest here. AI isn't a magic solution.
Oh, definitely not.
It's not going to solve all their problems.
No, it won't.
And it comes with its own risks and challenges.
Absolutely. But what I find encouraging is that they seem to be approaching this with a sense of responsibility,
Yeah.
with that commitment to ethics.
Yeah, it's it's not often we see a strategy that embraces the potential, but also acknowledges that there's a need for careful planning, responsible implementation.
Yeah, it's refreshing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
They're not shying away from those tough questions.
No, and that's what makes this so fascinating.
It really does.
It's not just about the technology, it's about a nation's aspirations.
It is.
It's about the challenges they face.
Their hopes for the future.
Yeah, it's about their determination to shape their own destiny in this age of AI.
Exactly.
But, we can get caught up in the technical details of all this, but it's important to remember it's about people.
It is.
How is this going to impact the lives of everyday Kenyans?
That's the real question.
Let's make it tangible.
Let's get specific.
So last time we were talking about, the real impact of AI, like how it could actually change people's lives.
Right, the everyday Kenyans.
Yeah, the everyday people, because it's easy to get lost in all those
Technical detail.
the technical detail.
Yeah, the algorithms, all that.
But really, it's the human impact that matters most.
Absolutely.
So let's make this a bit more concrete.
Okay.
Can you walk me through like a real world scenario?
Sure. So imagine, a young woman
Okay.
in a rural village, and she dreams of starting her own business.
Yeah.
But, maybe she doesn't have access to traditional loans.
Yeah, that's a big barrier for a lot of people.
Huge, yeah. So with these AI-powered platforms, she could access microloans, right, that are specifically designed for her needs.
Okay.
And maybe she doesn't have, a way to reach customers beyond her village.
Right.
AI could connect her to these online marketplaces where she can sell her products to a much wider audience.
So it's like it's opening up these opportunities that just weren't there before.
Exactly. And it could help her lift herself and her community out of poverty.
That's incredible.
It is. It is. Or think about, an elderly man in a remote area.
Okay.
He needs specialized medical care.
Yeah, and that can be hard to come by.
Very difficult. So these AI-powered diagnostic tools, right, could help those local healthcare workers figure out what's wrong and even connect him remotely with specialists.
So he doesn't have to travel?
Exactly. Exactly. Bringing that expert care to him.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. And AI can also help with things like education. Think about children in rural schools who don't have access to, all the best teachers and resources.
Yeah, that's a big challenge.
Huge challenge. And AI can help with that. These AI-powered learning platforms can provide personalized lessons. It adapts to each student's needs.
So it's like every child has their own personal tutor.
In a way, yes. And that could be a game changer for those kids.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to think about the potential for positive change.
It really is.
But we've also talked about this need for responsible development. So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive here, what do you think makes Kenya's approach stand out?
Well, one of the things that I think really sets them apart is this focus on localizing AI.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they're not just taking technology that's been developed elsewhere and just dropping it in.
Right.
They're really thinking about how to adapt it to their specific needs and context. It's about making AI work for Kenyans, not the other way around.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
No, not at all. They realize that what works in Silicon Valley or Beijing might not be the best fit for the challenges that they face.
So how does that actually work in practice? What does that localization look like?
Well, language is a big one.
Okay.
Kenya is a very diverse country linguistically. Over 60 languages.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that many.
It's a lot. And, traditionally AI has been really focused on, English or a few other major languages. But Kenya is realizing they need to develop systems that understand and can work with those local languages.
So things like, voice assistants that speak Swahili.
Exactly. or chatbots that can provide customer service in a local language, or educational tools that can help kids learn in their mother tongue.
That's amazing. So it's about making AI accessible to everyone, no
Exactly.
matter what language they speak.
And I think that's a really powerful statement about, valuing cultural and linguistic diversity.
Yeah, it is. It's not just about the technology, it's about the people who are using it.
It is, it is. And it goes beyond language.
Hmm.
They're even exploring ways to bring indigenous knowledge into their AI development.
That's interesting. How does that work?
Well, think about traditional farming practices. Farmers in Kenya have generations of knowledge
Yeah,
about the land, the weather patterns, sustainable farming techniques.
right.
And if you can incorporate that knowledge into AI systems,
Okay.
it could lead to much more effective and environmentally friendly farming.
It's like blending ancient wisdom with modern technology.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a reminder that technology should serve humanity,
Yeah.
not the other way around.
Right, right. And I think that's what makes this so compelling.
It is.
It's not just about catching up. They're trying to forge their own path.
Exactly. They're not just following, they're leading.
Yeah, and it's really inspiring to see.
It is. It's a really exciting time for AI in Africa.
It makes you hopeful about the future, doesn't it? That AI can be this force for good,
Yeah,
empowering people, creating a more just world.
absolutely. And I think Kenya is setting a great example, especially for other developing countries.
Yeah, it's a message of empowerment, isn't it? That they can shape this technology
Yeah.
to achieve their own goals.
They don't have to just be passive consumers of technology. They can be the creators.
Well, we've covered so much in this deep dive. It's been a fascinating journey.
It has.
From infrastructure to data to ethical considerations to the real, human impact of all this.
It's a big topic.
As we wrap up, what are your final thoughts? What will you be thinking about?
I'm really impressed by their ambition, but also their pragmatism and their commitment to doing this responsibly.
Yeah, it's a really unique approach.
It is, and I think they have the potential to be a real model for other countries.
I agree. It's a great story, and I think we're just at the beginning.
I think so too.
And for everyone listening, I really encourage you to keep an eye on Kenya. They're doing amazing things, and I think we're going to be hearing a lot more about them in the years to come. And if you're intrigued by what you've heard today, we'll include a link to that full strategy document in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.